Hey, hey, hey.
Hey girl, what's up, Dr. Tiff?
How's it going now?
It's going great. We are like really, really close to Christmas right now.
Yes, we are. And I am ready for the break. I'm also ready for Christmas, but I'm ready for the break that I get from work too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure. Well, thank you to everybody joining us tonight for our episode. We have a really fun topic tonight. And I feel like somebody might say, well, why are you all talking about holiday family fun? How does that relate to education? Well, I want to remind you that education happens everywhere outside of school. Education is not just reading, writing, and arithmetic like they used to say. Learning and education is everything: problem solving, socialization, critical thinking, engagement, joint attention. It's all of those things. So then that is why I thought tonight was a great time for us to do a little family fun, holiday fun episode. And we're going to talk about some ways that we celebrate the holidays, ways we engage with our kids at home over the holiday season, because kids are out for almost 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more, depending on what school or district that your kid is at. So that can be a real long time when you're used to not seeing your kid for 6.5 hours a day, and now they are home every day. So
Oh, we are not too far removed from COVID.
true.
The memory is still in the cells. Okay, so to
I would
help you all and to help us, this research helped us too, because we're in the same boat. We want
Yeah,
that.
I would classify COVID as a nightmare, but we're gonna come back to that another day because that was a whole school year at home. So we're talking about 2 weeks. So we're gonna share some ways that we, plan things, just do spontaneous things, ways we engage, some things that we do with our family. And if you are up for it, comment in the chat on ways that you plan holiday fun or just capture the moment for family fun during this holiday season. And so I want to start first, Val. I want to ask you, what are some of your family traditions for this time of the year? Because you have two boys, you got an age gap there too. You got a high schooler now and an elementary school students child.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah.
And to be specific, because I think it matters, I have a ninth grader. So
Hmm.
this is a transition year. And I have a first grader, which is also a transition year for both of them. So I've always tried to be intentional about making some memories and doing something that the boys enjoy. It's family time. And so some of the favorites for them is baking sweets together. Like we all love cookies. And so the idea of just from putting the frozen already formed cookies on the pan, put them in the oven, reading directions, like all of that, all the way to okay, we need some flour, some butter. Can we just do a prepackaged something? We've done it all and had a blast. My kids love popcorn. Like it's a whole thing for us. And so at one point, because I try to be a little healthy, I was like, I need to make this like myself and then teach them how to make it because if we're gonna eat it, it's gotta be as healthy as it can be. And so we started doing that. The thing is, like, if you give my kids popcorn, like they'll eat it. But if you really want to, like, be up there at the top of their list of people, then you want to put some cheddar on it. Put a little white cheddar on that.
Oh,
Yes,
sprinkle of
yes.
white cheddar. I got
Sprinkle a
it.
little, sprinkle a little white cheddar. But yeah, and hot chocolate in a movie, like those are our top three that we do over the holidays.
Very cool. So for me and Uriah, we put up the Christmas tree, and we love the Motown Christmas soundtrack, like that album. So we listen to that. We'll have some hot apple cider, um, and we're putting up the tree and all the decorations. But then when it's time for like the night before Christmas, we are decorating Rice Krispie treats. And the reason we don't decorate sugar cookies is because Santa doesn't like sugar cookies. Santa likes Rice Krispie treats.
So
so,
we understand.
so we decorate Rice Krispie treats. So I'll like make the Rice Krispie treats and I'll make them kind of thin, about this thin, and then we use the cookie cutters, cut out the shapes, and then I buy a little frosting and color it and squeeze it out to a little decorating bag, the piping bag. So we love to do that, and then indoor snowball fight. If you caught my promo story for tonight's episode, you saw the snowball fight, a little clip of it tonight. But I buy those, they feel like just big cotton balls, and I have boxes of them that I just keep from year to year. And so we are in here sweating, breathing hard, falling on the floor. I mean, it is intense and it goes on for a while, to the point where I'm like, okay, I just need 5 minutes. Like, let me just catch my breath, get a drink of water. And then we like to do a surprise attack. So, you're just sitting chilling, but you might have some snowballs like covered up in your lap or something. Then all of a sudden you're like, ah, and then you just start throwing snowballs at each other. So we love to do that. We've been doing that for years now. And then, of course, karaoke. Uriah has started to love karaoke. He has two signature songs. They're by NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, oddly enough. And bye, yes. And I want it that way. Those are his two signature songs. He performed them at Thanksgiving too. So we love to do the karaoke as well. But I like what you said about baking cookies. You can go from the prepackaged to making it from scratch. But in that, you got reading, comprehension, short term recall, like all of those things embedded in whether you crack them from the pack and put it on the sheet pan or you are measuring out ingredients. Either way, you are engaging with them in something that is enjoyable, stimulating, and also educational as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they actually I know these are the thing that this is like Christmas things, but since you brought up the math, I can't resist. We made some pizzas the other day at the house, and which is really like I asked them, do y'all want Papa John's or Marco's? And they're like, can we make it at home? Okay, great. Sure. Yes, we can. We made them. They were, smaller circles or whatever. And so I asked Matt, well, how many pieces do you want it cut up in? And he's like, I want this one cut up in 3 and I want this one cut up in 4. Great. Your math teacher mom is going to make a math lesson out of this. And, I was like, look, you got 1/4 pieces. How many 1/4 pieces do you want? No, I want 2 of them. Oh, you got 2 4s. Look, that was half your pizza. Just want you guys to know, like, those are some little ways you can incorporate stuff like that. Even if you feel like it's basic, they still need it reinforced. So anyway, that's my tangent.
And I like that example because we already know my relationship with math has been very hostile from the beginning. So I like that you use the easy example because I think sometimes parents can get intimidated and like, I don't know how to work math into an everyday thing. But you just gave us a great example, one that I might even try as well. And while you were talking about pizza, it made me think too, like, maybe, since Santa here, when he comes to our house, he likes Rice Krispie treats. He goes to your house, he likes cookies. Maybe at somebody else's house, he likes pizza. And you can get that pre-made pizza dough and use the cookie cutters on that. Cut it out. Make Santa a little Christmas tree shaped pizza. What?
Yep. That's good.
I think Santa's diet might be changing for our house.
Maybe he wants a little savory with his sweet.
Oh, Santa loves that. Oh, Santa loves the sweet and savory for sure.
Let me talk to Uriah. Let me put him on some stuff.
Yeah, that could be a really cool idea. What are some of the stress of making these memories? I feel like it's good. We have great ideas, but I feel like sometimes, I know for myself, I could put pressure on me to do all of these things. Instagram is full of ideas, Pinterest, all this stuff, and it can feel like you're not doing enough. And so then you put this stress on yourself as a parent to, you know, do all the things. And that's just not possible. But then also to do all the things as perfectly as they do them on Pinterest or on Instagram, any social media. So I have learned to just let it be what it's going to be. And just that simple phrase takes a lot of effort for me because I like for things to be nice and neat.
Mhm.
I'm working with a 9-year-old who's just like licking his fingers and then spreading stuff. And I'm like, oh. So, how do you deal with that stress? Do you also have that kind of I need to do all the things and they need to be perfect? Probably not.
You know, Dr. Tip, I don't the way you described it. So when I was thinking about this, I am very laid back when it comes to how it looks or because mostly, and maybe it's just because this is being presented just to us. Like, we're not taking this to anybody or go anywhere else. Like, we're just having fun amongst ourselves. Even if I'm gonna take pictures of it, like, you're gonna get what you're gonna get, whatever it is. But the stress for me comes in like creating a moment where I have to be patient. So like when I teach and I'm working with kids, like I already know coming into the situation, like this is what I do. So there's a level of expectation that I have. When I come home and it's me and the kids, like on a regular basis, there's a certain level of expectation I know that I have to have for my patients. But when I make the decision to create a situation where I'm gonna have to exercise this patience muscle, I'm like, oh, okay. So I gotta do a little extra breathing before, during, and after the experiment. Those that might have came out right the first time. Uh, but yeah, that's where it comes in for me. Like the smaller the kid, the more patience you have to have. And so Matt just turned 7 this past Sunday, and so it's a lot easier because he's able to handle a lot more things. But 3-4 years ago, and you just learning how to hold stuff without dropping and spilling stuff everywhere. Like, I could see how that could be a lot.
Yeah. I know it's probably easier to engage the younger kids. I'm thinking about like middle school and high schoolers. Is it hard to get them to join in on the holiday family fun? Are they stuck to their devices, their shows, just in their room? How is it with since you have a ninth grader? How was it when he was in middle school too?
I think I'm a unicorn. It wasn't very hard, but I think probably because I've made it a habit and it's like a tradition for us.
Gotcha.
So it's expected, and he knows that he already knows it's coming. So I give him a heads up. So I don't just, all of a sudden say, "Hey, come in here. We're about to do this." Everybody knows ahead of time. And so I think that helps. That helps in general with preteens and teens who are in a stage in life where they kind of want to be able to do what they want to do, like letting them know stuff ahead of time. Like, you're not asking them for their permission necessarily, but you're saying, "Hey, be ready at this such and such
And
time, and it's going to happen."
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that prep helps, that mental preparation where it's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do tonight, or in the morning we're gonna do X, Y, and Z. So I think that's a really good tip if you have the older kids who maybe need a little bit more encouragement, like, come on, it's gonna be fun. You can, tap into your inner child, even though they're already, young
And
adults.
ask them what they want to do. Like, sometimes we just decide what's fun for us, and like, "Oh, this would be great to do with my kids," and your kids are like, "I don't like cookies." It's not for me. I like Rice Krispie treats. Why are we making these cookies? So,
Right.
like, getting them involved in the planning, and getting them to think about what they want, what other people want. Like, this is good training for you're gonna be somebody's daddy or mom possibly one day. You might have a husband or a wife one day. You need to know how to operate in a family and what things that you can do to help the family relationships.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. One of the mistakes I think I made, and I will categorize this as a mistake, and this is just my own personal experience, was that Elf on the Shelf. That was a mistake. A
I
door
ain't
that
touching.
a door that I opened that I wish I never opened. So a friend gave us the book. I had never heard of Elf on the Shelf when Uriah was probably like 4. Gave us the book, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cute!" And I looked up online, and everybody's got all these ideas and getting real creative with the elf. So we named it. We were reading the book every night, and like the first week, it was amazing. I was like excited at night when he went to sleep. Like, oh, what am I gonna do with this elf now? And you're supposed to do it from the beginning of December till Christmas Day. About a week, maybe a week and a half in, I was like, oh no, this is a lot of work. Trying to remember, again, putting that pressure on myself to be creative, do all the things I'm seeing online. And so I
Mhm.
was like, ooh, we made it to the end of, the first season, holiday season. And by golly, if he didn't ask about when is the elf coming back for the next Christmas. And I'm like, oh wow, I've really started something that I don't want to sustain. So we did it for 3 years, 3 Christmases. And then I decided that, the elf has to move on to older kids. And so we said bye to the elf because I just let him know, hey, the elf is going to move on to other kids that are younger. It's time to like let him go and find another family. And so we said bye to him after 3 Christmases. And I just was like, I will never encourage anyone to do that. It had its moments of fun, but overall, you're in a panic when you forget to move the dang thing at night. Like you wake up in a panic. I was waking up in the middle of the night, like, oh, I forgot to do it. Or I'm at work and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do tonight? Where am I going to stick it? So many times I'm like just running down the hallway before he gets up and just like fling him on top of a bookshelf or something just so he can move. So I would not recommend anybody do it, but maybe that's your thing and try it. But I didn't enjoy it. Did y'all ever do that?
Heck no. I stayed as far away from that thing as possible because the educator in me, when I saw that, it flew up red flags.
Like
This
what?
is this is lesson plans on my time off. No, I I'm not doing it. Mm-mm.
It definitely was giving lesson plan vibes. That is for sure. You put a lot of thought into it, research and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, but that was not something that we enjoyed. But one thing we do enjoy every Christmas is making gingerbread houses. I will say, I tried to make the gingerbread from scratch once because I wanted to be like, super mom. So I made the gingerbread and we baked it and we trying to put it together. No, it didn't work very well because my squares, when I cut them before I baked them, were, sharp corners. Well, when you bake them, they like round and things warp in the oven. So you're trying to put the thing together and it's like not lining up. So we like to get the pre-made ones that you can buy the kit in the store, and
Mhm.
then they all, everything goes together nicely, and then you decorate and you just eat the candy off of it. But we even did that as a family once, and it was like 5 or 6 of us, and I gave everybody a paper plate with their own little piping bag with the frosting, and we put on some music, and everybody made their gingerbread house. It was so fun.
I bet I could see that. I think I might have bought one kit one time, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember us even putting the thing together. But it was a long time ago, so we may have, but my lack of memory kind of lets you know it wasn't that amazing for us. So we was just like, and oh, I know we did, but the cookie didn't taste good.
Oh yeah, no, the cookie's horrible.
Yeah, and I was like, well, what is the point?
Just eat the candy. You just eat the candy on it.
No, I need this cookie to be good because that's the part I'm gonna eat. So, no, no
No, no,
gingerbread houses over here.
yeah,
But one
don't.
thing we do is where we live in South Georgia, we have a park that puts up lights every year. And so we make a habit to go through the lights. The park is not huge. Over the years, the lights have kind of been condensed to a smaller area, but we love it. So we'll go and we won't just drive through, but we actually get out and just kind of walk through and experience the lights together as a family, and just have a good time. So my boys really like that.
That's really cool. Um, for 3 years now, three Decembers, I should say, we have done a 10K down at Callaway Gardens in Georgia. They have their festival, what's it called? Fantasy of Lights. Normally you can drive through, but they have a 10K where you can run, walk, jog, whatever your preference, and you are right there next to the lights. And then they have little stations where Santa's handing out candy canes and chocolate while you're doing your 10K. That has been really fun. The first year, I was convinced Uriah was not going to make it 6.25 miles. So I got one of those, like if you live in the city, you put your groceries in one of those carts when you go to the grocery store because you're walking. So I had a friend who had one of those. So I brought that and I pulled him in the wagon when he got tired. Because what I wasn't going to do was argue with a then 6-year-old about let's finish this 6.25 miles and we're in the middle of the race. That's what I was not going to do. Oh man, that was a lot of work. And then these last 2 years, he's done it. I wasn't bringing the wagon because there were some hills and pulling him up a hill in a wagon was a lot of work. So these last 2 years, we've done it and done like a walk run. I invite a friend and their kids, and it's like a nice fun thing to do. So if you can find something outdoors like that, I'm always game for that. So you can see the holiday lights and get a little physical activity in at the same time. I haven't been able to convince any of my family members to do it with me, but one day I'll hold out hope.
I hope so. I do love that though, that you're being active and able to enjoy the lights. And you're running off the chocolate that they're giving you at the same time. Like,
Yeah, and it's the holidays. Eat all the chocolate. Then get back on the train in January.
girl.
Eat all the things. I want to ask you and your family, do y'all pull names for gifts or you buy everybody a gift?
We tend to buy everybody a gift. So I do remember my parents and me and my brother one Christmas pulled names. I hope I'm remembering that right. I feel like that's really what happened. And I mean, it was just kind of like, oh, okay, cool, because we had a money limit, spending limit, and everything like that, and it was really, really low. So it was like, how creative you gonna get? And we're frugal like that anyway, and we like bargain shopping and finding good deals on bargains. So I liked it. But other than that, especially since my two sons and getting married, we haven't really done that.
Gotcha. Yeah, we've tried it a couple times. We resort to more of the white elephant or like dirty Santa games where you're like switching the gifts because everybody, Uriah's the youngest, so we all grown. We can whatever the things we want for Christmas, we could go buy them for ourselves. So you might
Yeah.
set in that $25 limit. It really helps, just make it fun because you could go buy yourself a $25 gift, but playing dirty Santa or white elephant, whatever you refer to it as, makes it a little bit more fun. And I am the person who likes to buy the gag gift. So you know how people really want to like make the $25 go far. I will buy something completely stupid that I think will be funny. And man, sometimes I get a laugh, sometimes I don't.
I was gonna ask, how does that go over, Dr. Tiffany?
Sometimes I get a laugh, sometimes not, but it's funny for me when they open it and they're like, "What?"
Do
So
they know it's from you?
No, so you don't put any names on it. So you tell at the end. And I got the idea because somebody did that at a Dirty Santa game night that I went to a few years ago. And I was like, what? You know, you open it up, you're like, what in the world? And everybody's like laughing. And then I spent the rest of the game trying to like make people want to buy. I'm like, look at this. Don't you want to trade for this? This is amazing. I'm going to do so many great things with it. And you could too. Nobody wanted it at all.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Nobody wanted it at all.
No, friend. No, friend. Well, speaking of games, like what other kind of holiday games do you all usually play? I know you mentioned karaoke is Uriah's favorite.
Definitely. When we were younger, so when me and my two cousins who were like really close in age, when we were about Uriah's age, so elementary school, my aunt used to do scavenger hunt, and she hid money. So like you wanted to, and the clues were not easy to solve, and so it would be a riddle for somewhere you needed to go in the house, or like a riddle you needed to solve to get the next clue. So we would be running through the house trying to make sure we capitalized on where this money was. So I've done that a couple times with Uriah. I don't have money, but I do have little gifts in each little spot that I hide stuff. And that's fun. He really enjoys it. It's a lot of work on my end. But I guess now with like Chat GPT, you could really just type in Christmas riddles for a 9-year-old. I need 10 of them. Boom. 2 seconds.
You're
You
right.
got it.
Yeah, because I was like, those flags were going off again for me. Because you had me. I was like, oh yeah, I love scavenger hunts. That'd be fun. But now I was like, no, I'm the one creating it. Wait a minute.
Yeah, no, Chat GPT would be great. We also do charades. So, they have the kids version, but, we put in some adult stuff too. So make it a little bit harder to guess, but we make it easy for the younger kids. What about you?
I am a fan of minute to win it games. So, anything because they're quick and they're simple and hard at the same time. So from like using red solo cups for good, not for evil. Um, that's like, I'm sorry. So using the red solo cups for your hands and pretending they're like reindeer hoofs and then putting out some cotton balls. And so you're trying to scoop up cotton balls and collect them in a bowl or something like that and be the first person. I've played games where you take the Oreos and you stack them on your head and then you got to inch it down your face to get to your mouth. Like just if you've played any, a lot of people love the little tissue on the back with the ping pong. Oh, okay. So you get an empty tissue box and you put some ping pong balls in there. You make sure the hole is open, like some of them have the plastic, so cut that out. And then you tie it around your waist and you put the tissue box back here. And your goal is without your hands is to shake out all of the ping pong balls. It is hilarious.
That sounds like so much fun.
Hilarious.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to steal that one. So
Yes. Do that.
that sounds like a lot of fun. What I have done, like on social media, is make little folders so that if I see fun ideas, I can put them in a folder as I see them throughout the month and then decide, okay, how creative do I want to be? Or, how not creative do I want to be? So that's a really cool one, though. I like that. If you are watching tonight or listening to the replay, share some of your holiday family traditions and ideas in the comments. We hope that we're giving you some ideas to get started. Maybe you will incorporate some new things. Maybe you'll start doing some things because in the past you haven't. But share ideas with family and friends and incorporate some of that reading, some of that logical, you know, consequences, critical thinking. If you're going to do riddles for them, maybe you ask them to write riddles for you to do a scavenger hunt too. Like flip it, make them do some of it as well, so then they can have the joy of watching you run around looking crazy for the gift that they hid for you. So think about the holiday time not as 2 whole weeks of you looking at your kid every day. But think about some ways that you can incorporate some fun things, help get them in on the prep side of it. So on Christmas Day, you have all these things together so you can go ahead and play the games right then. So put them to work. Give them a task. Don't let them just sit and just go into a brain fog watching YouTube all day.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for joining us again tonight for another episode of Tuesday Talks. Be sure to like this episode, subscribe to the YouTube channel, download it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also share with friends, colleagues as well. And then we'll see you all next week. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.